Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order, meeting number 2025-0612R.
Tonight's music selection made by Mayor Raley was 40-Hour Week by Alabama.
Great.
The next music selection on July 10th will be made by Vice Mayor Wasserman.
Okay.
We'd like to remind everyone to please silence your mobile devices. To help with sound quality, make sure to speak clearly and directly into your microphone, and mute your microphone when you're not speaking. If anyone is having trouble hearing at any point during the meeting, please raise your hand and someone will bring you an audio assistance device. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell.
Here.
Commissioner Welch.
Here.
Commissioner Brody.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wasserman.
Here.
Mayor Raley.
Here.
City Manager Rose.
Here.
City Attorney Pyburn.
Here.
Okay. Thank you. Would everyone please stand, and Commissioner Rydell, would you start us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being conducted live with a physical quorum present. The material for today's meeting is available online at coconutcreek.net. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision made will need a record of the proceedings, and for such purpose may need to ensure that a verbatim recording of the proceedings is made, including the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The archive of this meeting may be requested from the city clerk or may be heard online at coconutcreek.net. If you haven't already, please silence your mobile devices. If you must take a phone call, please excuse yourself and step outside. Respect and proper decorum will be maintained throughout the meeting. Vocal outbursts, jeering, cheering, or applause can impair the rights of others and derail the decision-making process. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a presentation this evening recognizing the 2025 Earth Day Recycling Poster Contest winners. And we have Public Works Director Harry Mout will conduct the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioner. Tonight, I am honored to recognize a very special initiative that brought creativity, community engagement, and environmental awareness together in a meaningful way. In celebration of Earth Day 2025, the City of Coconut Creek launched our Recycling Poster Contest, a program designed to inspire young minds to think about how their everyday actions can make a difference for our community and planet. This year, we expanded the contest to include students in kindergarten through 8th grade, inviting all who live and attend schools in Coconut Creek to participate. And the response was incredible. We had 124 students registered to take part. Their artwork, these students expressed, through their artwork, they expressed thoughtful, colorful, imaginative ideas about recycling, sustainability, and caring for the environment. It was not only a display of talent, but also a clear sign that our young people are eager to be a part of building a cleaner, greener future. We would like to take a moment to recognize a few of our outstanding student artists whose posters stood out for their creativity and powerful message. Please join me in celebrating the winners of the 2025 Earth Day Recycling Poster Contest. For the kindergarten to 2nd grade division, we have Aviana Kosenova was first place. Second place, she was in kindergarten and attends the North Broward Preparatory School. Second place was Eliza Melovich, and she's in 2nd grade, Tradeswinds Elementary School. Amelia Katsanova, 2nd grade, Winston Park Elementary School, 3rd place. For the 3rd to 5th grade divisions, we have first place, Sophia Rodriguez, 4th grade, Winston Park Elementary School. Second place, Sloan Melovich. Fifth grade, Tradewinds Elementary School. Third place, Isabella Sawyer, fifth grade, Winston Park Elementary. For the 6th to 8th grade division, first place, Stayana Williams, 7th grade, Lions Creek Middle. Second place, Delaney Mulligan, 8th grade, Lions Creek Middle. And third place, Joa Andrade. My apologies, I probably mispronounced that. 8th grade, Lions Creek Middle. All right. These students remind us the next generation is not only watching, but also ready to lead. Let us continue to support them and each other as we move forward in achieving the city's Vision 2030 plans for sustainable environmental goals. Thank you.
Okay, my turn, hold on.
You're confusing me. Okay, if parents want to take a minute and take photos, and then we're going to take a couple of minute break so that you won't have to be subjected to our meeting and you can leave. Thank you.
You don't want a family photo with the Mileviches?
this meeting started. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all our winners. Okay, thank you. We will resume our commission meeting. A proclamation recognizing June 2025 as Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Commissioner Welch will read the proclamation into the record and present it to Tamara Gregory, Alzheimer's Association volunteer.
Absolutely. Whereas Alzheimer's disease, a progressive neurodegenerative brain disorder, tragically robs individuals of their memories and leads to progressive mental and physical impairments. And whereas 7.2 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, including an estimated 580,000 individuals in the state of Florida, of which an estimated 47,800 reside in Broward County. And whereas Alzheimer's is the 7th leading cause of death in America. And whereas Alzheimer's disease is the only cause of death among the top 10 causes of death in America that cannot be prevented, cured, or even slowed. And whereas in 2025, nearly 12 million caregivers in the United States provided an estimated 18 billion hours of unpaid care, valued at more than $413 billion, and in Florida, over 870,000 caregivers provided over 1.4 billion hours of unpaid care, valued at an estimated $29 billion. And whereas the human cost of Alzheimer's disease is immeasurable, and we recognize the individuals, families, friends, and caregivers dealing with Alzheimer's disease, as well as the researchers dedicated to seeking a cause or cure. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek hereby proclaims June 2025 as Alzheimer's Awareness Month in the City of Coconut Creek and recognizes the efforts of the Alzheimer's Association to raise funds and promote awareness to fight Alzheimer's disease and related disorders, thereby improving the quality of life for those living with Alzheimer's disease and their caregivers. And it was signed by the mayor and the rest of the commission and tested by the city clerk. And on a personal note, I lost both of my in-laws to this terrible disease, and I can attest that it takes the toll on the entire family. But thank you for all that you do to help.
Thank you.
Well, no, I can read them. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to address you, and thank you for taking the time to recognize Alzheimer's to help raise greater awareness. My name is Tamara Gregory. I am a 31-year Coconut Creek resident, and I'm honored to serve as a volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association. Alzheimer's has touched, I think, almost everyone personally. For me, yes, some extended family, but mostly the 10.5 years I've worked in the home health industry, providing services to families and to their loved ones. Every day it hits me, every day I see it. But I'm here representing, and also I wanted to just say thank you to Brock Minnick from, he's here in support of Alzheimer's Association. He is also representing Coconut Creek's only premier memory care facility, or community, I should say. But I'm here representing the 47,800 residents of Broward County living with Alzheimer's disease. We have the second highest number of individuals living with Alzheimer's in Florida. It is critical that we raise awareness for this disease. We know this disease has physical, emotional, and financial impacts on the individual and the family, but there is hope. We are in a new era with treatments available for those in the early stages of the disease. And just last month, the FDA cleared a blood test to help detect Alzheimer's disease. Please know there is support available in our community. The Alzheimer's Association provides free education and support. We also have a 24/7 helpline that is available 365 days a year, it says a week, which is run by dementia experts to handle any and all questions. You can also visit us at alz.org to learn about local resources. We hope you will join your community on Saturday, December 6th at Nova Southeastern for Broward County Walk to End Alzheimer's, where individuals living with the disease, current and former caregivers, and all impacted by the disease come together to shine a light on Alzheimer's and walk in hopes of a cure. Thank you. And I would love to stay for your meeting, but I'm expected back at a senior prom. And when I say senior, I mean over 80 years old. So we're going to tootle out of here. Thank you so much.
Well, Tamara, thank you so much. Yeah. It was an honor to present that proclamation to you both. Thank you. Easy with that senior stuff. Okay.
I made that mistake once, Mayor. I will not make it again.
Thank you. Okay. We have a proclamation recognizing June 1st to the 7th, 2025, as Code Compliance Officer Appreciation Week. Commissioner Rydell will read the proclamation into the record and present it to Code Compliance Supervisor Brianna Capone.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas code compliance officers provide the safety, health, and welfare of the residents of this community through the enforcement of building, zoning, housing, animal control, fire safety, environmental, and other codes and ordinances. And whereas code compliance officers are responsible for improving neighborhoods, quality of life of residents in the community, and whereas every day, assisted by support and program staff, our code compliance officers provide quality customer service to the public for the betterment of our community. And whereas too many times their efforts go unnoticed, even after code compliance has been accomplished due to their efforts and expertise. And whereas code compliance officers are dedicated, well-trained, and highly responsible individuals who take their job seriously and are proud of the department, division, and local government for which they serve. Whereas the Florida Association of Code Enforcement, FACE, has declared the first week of June to be set aside by local governments to honor and recognize their code compliance officers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek hereby proclaims June 1st to the 7th, 2025, as Code Compliance Officer Appreciation Week in the City of Coconut Creek, and urges all community members to express appreciation for the dedication and outstanding service provided by the individuals who serve as our code compliance officers. It's signed by the mayor, the vice mayor, the commissioners, and it's attested to by the city clerk. And I look forward to presenting it because it's, you know, nobody wants to be coded, but the reason our city looks as how it looks is because of these women that are going to be coming up. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
I would like to just congratulate Brianna Capone on her recent promotion to Code Supervisor.
All right. Good.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everything. Code compliance is not as easy as they make it seem. Thank you. Okay. We will now have input from the public on non-agenda or consent agenda items. I remind everyone wishing to speak that all comments must pertain to city business. Respect and proper decorum will be maintained. Behavior that disrupts the orderly conduct of this meeting, such as clapping, shouting, booing, and cheering, is not permitted. Any person who violates the decorum rules will be subject to removal from the commission chambers. City Clerk Mr. Kavanaugh, is there anyone who has signed up to speak on non-agenda or consent agenda items?
Thank you, Mayor. We have one individual signed up to speak this evening, Brian Kaufman.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kaufman.
Okay, good evening, and first I'd like to thank the entire panel for the opportunity to be here today and exercise my First Amendment of the Constitution. Once upon a time, in the city of Coconut Creek, on the 27th of June in 2023, I believe the First Amendment of the Constitution was denied. By merely speaking, I was tackled to the ground by 3 police officers, and I was arrested and I was put in jail. Luckily for me, I videoed the entire incident. Once the state prosecutors had seen my video, they decided to discontinue the prosecution. The charges were null pros. I've written multiple complaints to the police department. I've had 2 investigators investigate, then a 3rd, and I spoke with Deputy Chief Henry today. He said his investigation came up with that it was a lawful arrest. So I proceeded to ask him, well, what law did I break to substantiate the arrest? First, he said disorderly conduct. After the conversation we had after that, he changed his mind. He then said interference. I tried to have an adult conversation with him. I guess he didn't like the way the conversation was going, and he rudely interrupted me, and then he hung up the phone on me. So I'm here before this panel with my 55 seconds left to ask, where do I go from here? Who has an objective ear that cares about the Constitution and cares about the citizens? Whether I'm a citizen of Coconut Creek or not, it's really the citizen of our country. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kaufman will look into it. All right, Terrell, City Attorney, would you care to say any or follow up?
I'll need more information. I'll get with the public safety legal advisor and get more information on the matter, and somebody will get back to you.
Thank you very much. Should I leave additional information for that, or do you have it from when I signed in?
We have it from when you signed in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's attention.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Kavanaugh. Anyone else, please?
Not at this time, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda or non-agenda item at this time? A non-agenda item, sorry, consent. Thank you. Public hearing is now closed. Okay. Now we have the consent agenda. I will read items 4 through 6. A motion approving the minutes from previous city commission meetings, 2025-0508 SP and 2025-0508R. Number 5, Resolution 2025-078, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute agreements with DRC Emergency Services, LLC, primary, and Grubbs Emergency Services, LLC, secondary, to provide emergency debris management services pursuant to RFP number 04-16-25-11. Number 6, Resolution 2025-085, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute the attached school resource officer, SRO, agreement with the school board or Broward County to provide 1 SRO at Tradewinds Elementary School for summer school commencing June 23rd, 2025 and ending July 17th, 2025. Are there any items the commission wishes to pull from the consent agenda?
Move consent.
Do I have a
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Commissioner Welsh. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll move now on to the regular agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to vote. Mr. Kavanaugh, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wasserman?
Yes.
Mayor Rowley?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 2025-081, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute an agreement with HG Construction Development and Investment, Inc. for the Lakeside Park Phase 1 improvements pursuant to IFB number 04-09-25-12. Is there a motion and a second?
Move it.
Second.
Okay, again, we have Commissioner Rydell moving and Commissioner Welsh second. Yes, thank you, Brian. Yes.
Good evening,
We'll make a
Mayor, Vice
presentation.
Mayor, Commission. We're very excited to bring this project before you. This is Lakeside Phase 1. The primary improvements are 4 new pickleball courts, 2 half basketball courts, batting cage, and sidewalk improvements. This is all strictly on the existing Lakeside Park, known as Phase 1. What you've known as Phase 2 will be hopefully done in the future. We have HG Construction here. Mr. Robert Hernandez. You'll stand up, please, sir. This is the first time we'll be working with this company, and we're very excited to start a new partnership and bring a beautiful project before you.
Okay.
Here for any questions, and so is Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you so much. Yes, we'll start with Commissioner Rydell.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. I'd like you to walk me through a little bit. I always like you to do it because when you look at, bids and when you're selection committees and submissions, this is like an extraordinarily a wide array fiscally for the project. I think you'd agree, right? On some of the bids that were submitted.
It is wide-ranging, but I've seen this situation numerous times over my years doing project management. Generally, you'll see clumpings of, on the low end, a middle, and then things that are just completely, out there as far as the price they're proposing. So
Because there was some high bids. The other thing is, traditionally, we don't normally, and I can only think of one other time that we approve something with a contingency amount. That's not something we normally do. So Sheila, I don't know.
So the contingency is in the agenda item for the budgeting purposes, but not in the contract.
Okay, I want a clarification on that, because traditionally, when we're talking about, I understand.
Just for
Okay.
budgeting
Yeah.
purposes, we set those.
And I always just like it because you see bids that are 2.5 times what we're approving this evening.
Right.
And obviously, I want to say, first of all, thank you to the contractor that's here. Obviously, when we award contracts, we always like our vendor to be here to answer any questions, so thank you for that. I just like it to be clear on the record in terms of when we have such a disparity, why that is, and you always clarify it, so I appreciate the work, Brian. And I know we have a resident here. Mayor, I'd like to maybe comment after our resident speaks, because I think we have a resident here that candidly speaks for the neighborhood, so I'd like to be able to hear what she says and chime in after. Thank you.
Of course.
Anita Marriott.
Okay, then, yes. Commissioner Brody.
So, as always, when we talk about park and recs, I am not a fan of locks on gates. I think that deters our own families to having to call rangers. So I want to make sure that we understand that we're building these parks so people can use them. We're building these basketball courts and all the stuff that we're putting in here. I would very much like not to see locks on these gates so that our residents from these communities can get there and not have to call rangers and figure out how to unlock these gates. So I'm going to say it again. There's not going to be locks on these gates for the basketball and the pickleball and all that kind of stuff, correct?
as part of our project, no. Mr. Toby will, need to address that specifically. I don't know if he's here.
Commissioner Brody?
Sir?
Our plan would be just to lock the gates up after hours, just to keep people off those courts.
So you'll open them at dawn, close it at
Close it
dusk
at
when the
du-
park closes, correct? So that
Correct.
during the day, everybody can get in there and use
Yes.
those things, right?
Yep.
All right.
Anyone else? Commissioner Welch?
If you could just reiterate for the community how long this construction might be.
The construction is slated to go for 6 months, and we should be able to keep that schedule.
And the park will have to be closed during that time?
Yes, the
Okay.
park will be closed, and the staging area for it would be the adjacent vacant 5-acre field that we have.
Because it's very much used, so I think
Yes.
that's a good timeline, I hope. Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the commission? All right, thank you. Yes, Mr. Kavanaugh? Or shall Benita would like to speak? So would Ms. Marriott? Yes. Please join us.
Benita Marriott. I live in Regency Lakes, which is adjacent to the Lakeside Park. First, I want to thank all of you for putting this together. I want to thank the Parks and Recreation Committee for allowing the meetings that they had about a year or so ago to allow the public to have some input. Because the first draft drawings that were presented to us when we arrived, no basketball, no pickleball. And they are my two favorite sports. Well, world football is in there. But those are my two favorite sports. I'm also very pleased that they listened and they incorporated those. And of course, obviously, you all incorporated the two that we liked. It's not full basketball court, which is a shame because that would be great for the adults. But 2 halves is a good start. Maybe we can push it later and expand a little bit. Although I'm no longer playing either of these sports, I know that it will be an addition for our community. We have a lot of children in our community, and they need places to play. And we have a lot of adults who want to play pickleball. And even though Regency has changed their tennis court into a pickleball, drew the lines for pickleball, it's not the same, and it's quite often overbooked. So we're really looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Commissioner Rydell.
My only other follow-up question on this item, and it may be for the contractor or you, Brian, is Tradewinds uses I hate to say it like that, but that is a pass-through for the elementary school. Families on a direct connect when they're getting to the car loop and things like that. Can we just make sure? Is there going to be any impeding to kind of travel to use the road through the park while the park is being upgraded?
I'm not anticipating the road being closed at this time. Once we get a pre-construction meeting going and we determine from the contractor their needs, that may change, but at this point in time, we're counting on the road being open, but the park itself will be closed off from the public.
So I just know that a lot of families, right, use the park as a pickup drop-off point. I just want to make sure, obviously, whether to you, just so the contractor hears it and knows it, and obviously, Sheila, we got to make sure our families at Tradewinds know that.
And just as a point of clarification, we have a license agreement with the school board that allows them to do some overflow parking in the north half of that, which we anticipate to be able to remain.
Yes, that will remain.
That will remain.
My main concern is only really being able to drive it, because a ton of families live in Regency, use that cut-through to drop your kids off on the back end. And as long as we're notifying and we're publishing, I'm good with that. I just want to make sure that prong gets done. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from Commission? Thank you. Mr. Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Brody?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wasserman?
Yes.
Mayor Raley?
Yes. Thank you. City Attorney, Ms. Pyburn?
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-22, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, authorizing the mayor to execute the Second Amendment to the lease agreement by and between the City of Coconut Creek and New Singular Wireless PCS LLC, successor in interest to AT&T Wireless Services of Florida, which provides for modification of the equipment on the tower at Lakeside Park, subject to all other terms and conditions provided therein, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. This item is before you at this time for first reading.
Move it.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Rydell. Thank you. Henry Mapp.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. The Second Amendment will allow New Singular Wireless to modify the equipment on the tower. They're adding a few antennas, which will increase the load factor on the tower. And they're also going to modify the equipment within the existing ground lease and in return for an increase in rent. The amendment also clarifies the ground lease and the non-exclusive aerial easement for the tenant to connect to the tower from their compound. And if you have any questions, I'm here.
Any questions? Yeah, of course. Commissioner Brody.
So, as always, you mentioned adding structure, weight to the tower. Who did the structural?
Kimley Horn.
Kimberly Horn? All right.
They have to review all structurals.
You good with that? All right.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you. Mr. Kavanaugh, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Brody.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wasserman.
Yes.
Mayor Raley.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Ordinance number 2025-18, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, amending the charter of the City of Coconut Creek by accepting the proposed amendments to the city charter as adopted by the City Charter Review Board on April 16, 2025, hereby amending Article 1, Incorporation, Boundaries, and Charter, Section 106, Rules of Construction, Article 3, City Commission, Section 303, General Powers and Duties Compensation, Section 304, Prohibitions, Article 6, Financial Procedures, Section 604, Lapse of Appropriations, Article 8, Initiative, Referendum, and Recall, Section 801, General Authority, Section 802, Commencement of Proceedings, Petitioners Committee Affidavit, Section 803, Petitions, Section 806, Action by Petitions, Section 807, Results of Election, Article 9, General Provisions, Section 906, Amendments to Charter, and Section 907, Charter Review Board, providing that a majority of the electors voting in the November 3, 2026 general election approve such changes, providing for the form of the ballot, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for codification, and providing an effective date. This item is before you at this time for second reading and public hearing.
Thank you. Do I have a
Move it.
motion?
Second.
Thank you. Was that Commissioner Brody that moved it? Thank you. And seconded by Commissioner Rydell. Any questions? Any comments? Then Mr. Kavanaugh, please call the roll. Oh,
Apologize.
Go
I do have one comment. I think, and I just want to say it so it's clear for anyone listening, this has been portrayed as something that we're doing. Let's be crystal clear here. There was a charter review board impaneled that made recommendations to this commission that this commission is mandated by law to ratify, and it will go to the voters. So there's no formal action being taken by us making this the law. This will be on a referendum on the November 2026 ballot. So I do think that some of the reporting by our local media news outlets painted a different picture of what this is. So just to be crystal clear, all of this will be this is to let the people of Coconut Creek decide. That's the only thing I want to clarify on this item.
right. Thank you, Commissioner Rydell.
And we do
Anyone
need
else?
to open
Yes,
it up
sorry.
for the public.
Okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment? Seeing none, we'll move forward. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Kavanaugh, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Brody.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Wasserman.
Yes.
Mayor Raley.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. City Manager's report.
First of all, let me say thank you so much for the very gracious evaluation this afternoon. I appreciate each one of you tremendously, so thank you very much. I did want to just report on two topics really quickly. Brandy from M&M Property Management sent in a formal request on behalf of M&M Property Management and some residents to consider a dog park as part of Sable Pines Park. Staff has evaluated it and its consistency with our master plan. For the most part, our athletic fields are full and are permitted. So we don't feel that it would be appropriate at this time to convert an athletic field. You can now walk your dog along the path along the lake. So we will offer, if there are any other services that we could accommodate a dog in that area, we can do that. We expect that we could consider a dog park in the north end at sometime in the future or in the downtown area. So Wayne will be sending a letter to Brandy to that effect. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. And second, I received, and I know the mayor and the mayor of Deerfield received a lovely letter from Mayor Beam Fur with, in my opinion, some inaccuracies, but probably from a bigger perspective, a request to have some kind of settlement meeting related to the landfill. Thank you, Cheryl. We always talking about the landfill. Related to the landfill. So I wanted to make sure I did forward it to you all for consideration and for your information. I thought you might want to spend a few minutes discussing it this evening and decide how you'd like to proceed. I have had conversations with the city of Deerfield, and Terrell actually spoke with Eric Powers from Deerfield today, and they expect to consider this discussion item Tuesday evening. So we are proceeding on many fronts on the lawsuits, but this is a request to have some kind of settlement conversation.
Okay, thank you, yes.
Can I say something?
Sure,
Mayor?
Vice Mayor Wasserman.
Thank you, Mayor. Weren't we trying to do something a while ago, but Terrell, it wasn't, there's discussions and then they denied a compromise, or we offered something? And can you give some history there?
So actually, I was going to bring that up kind of during my comments, but the short version is we are engaged in a Chapter 164 intergovernmental dispute resolution process as required by law before we can bring some of the lawsuits. As you know, we have a lawsuit pending before the Division of Administrative Hearings Court, which has to do with a challenge to the comprehensive plan. But as it relates to any other lawsuits, we have to go through that Chapter 164 process first, and we've already been through kind of the staff level conflict assessment phase. The next step would be a joint meeting of the boards of Deerfield, us, and Broward County, which is currently scheduled for Thursday, August 28th at 1 p.m. This letter is something separate that Broward County Mayor Beam Fur sent, inviting us to have earlier discussions just with a representative, whether it be the mayor or designee from the commission of each of the cities, Coconut Creek and Deerfield Beach, as well as the city manager and attorney, to come together and discuss the possibility of settlement. They are claiming essentially that we're holding things up, they're running out of time, that the landfill is at capacity, and so they want to have these discussions sooner rather than later, and it takes quite a bit of time, as you know, to get all the boards together. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Sheila.
Do you both feel that I know we all agree that there is still plenty of time, right? And there's still how many more years before it's at capacity? It's like six to 8 years or something like that.
I think the numbers related to the capacity are provided by Waste Management.
Got it. Of course. So, I mean, I'm sure everybody else is going to speak on this, but I mean, I would be okay entertaining a conversation, with the mayor or designee, depending on how the commission feels, because it's not binding us to anything. Is that correct? It wouldn't be a binder.
No, and I think one of the interesting things is when we did have the staff meetings on the intergovernmental dispute resolution, the staff was not in a position to offer any type of compromise. We clearly are opposed to landfilling, but we weren't in a position to offer anything. Through these meetings, we would also only be in the position to discuss solutions, which would ultimately come back to you, or settlements that would come back to you.
And those would require a formal vote because of the fact that we are in active litigation with them and in an active Chapter 164 proceeding. So it's not like those discussions would result in a resolution without some transparency and decision-making on your part.
Actually, I'll defer to the rest of the commission, but I guess at the end of the conversation, we'll make a decision.
Okay. Thank you. So this would be strictly a conversation, so to speak, between the cities and Mr. Fur. And the solid waste. Okay, thank you. Yes,
Well, I understand
Commissioner.
they would like to include waste
Waste
management in the
management as well.
conversation.
Yeah, yes, Commissioner Welch.
At first brush, and I think I said this to the city manager, it smells of Waste Management's Labor Day offer to us to secede. And, but because we would not be binding ourselves, nor any obligation that we've given to our residents, that we are going to pursue any expansion of the landfill. I don't know that if legally it doesn't hurt to have the conversation. The only thing that I would ask is that, and I did mention this, that we lockstep with Deerfield, because the best thing that Waste Management could succeed in is getting us to divide from Deerfield. So I'm anxious to hear what their conversations are Tuesday night at their commission meeting, but I really hope that we continue in tandem in the opposition for the landfilling.
Thank you.
But I don't trust Waste Management at all.
Okay. Commissioner Rydell?
Yeah, just a brief little history lesson that I think is important to have. You know, we have a settlement agreement with the city of Coconut Creek from 2015 that limited the processable waste that would go into the landfill due to litigation that we triggered with Waste Management. So, you know, a decade ago, historically speaking, you know, it may not have been a win at the time. I think it was a win and limited, you know, for lack of a better term, the smelly garbage considerably, and give us oversight of that through our own engineer that could be on site doing it. I'm a trial lawyer. I mean, you know, cases that don't always go to trial, they settle. You'd be naive or foolish to not enter into some negotiations in some capacity. Whether it's palatable or not is up to the five of us in a public meeting to make a decision of. So, you know, I support any settlement talks in talks. Anything else get hashes out. And Sandy, I have a little bit of a different interpretation than you with Deerfield. Deerfield's under new leadership now. Their previous leader loved to blow things up. I don't think he always acted in the best. I don't know. I'd say it to his face. I think he loved sound bites. I think he didn't always necessarily act in the best interest of his residents. There's a new mayor in town who may have a different perspective on things. I obviously would like to see what Deerfield does, but let's be straight here. Coconut Creek is leading this charge. They are piggybacking on us. Madam City Attorney, am I correct in that?
Yes, you're correct.
Thank you. So they're piggybacking on us. What we're going to do is going to lead it. So I'm a fan of always, just as a lawyer in the profession, it's always good to sit at the table and talk. You don't have to do anything, but I just think it's you know, I think you have to sit at the table, because we'd be doing our residents a disservice if we didn't do that. And candidly, while we can be hand in hand with Deerfield, I'm not saying it like against you. I'm saying that we need to be the drivers of that boat, and if they want to come along with us, so be it. That's my position.
I do agree that there is a new mayor in town. A new mayor in town, and I think his perspective and style and vision is, to your point, a bit differently. So I'm holding that in.
You said it much more PC than I did, so.
Well, it's because it's what I believe. I've had conversations with him, and I do believe it. I really do. I think it's not just sound bites. I think it's real leadership. So, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Brody.
All right, so I'm going against the grain on this. I'm saying hell no. They had 2 years that we discussed this since 2022 when we first had this discussion. They have sat here and pushed it in our face and pushed it in our face, and now that they're against the wall in a lawsuit, they want to sit down with us? We have a date, August 28th, for that meeting. I think this is them trying to bully the city into doing what they want with waste management. I think we're fighters. We're going to fight this. We should be fighting this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a combat guy. I fought in the military, and we fight. And I think this is where they're trying to manipulate the situation for our city to come on a losing end of this again. So I'm not wanting to sit down with them until August 28th and let's have that meeting legally. because I think it's a BS waste of time. All they're going to try to do is manipulate this situation like they did on Labor Day, like they've done for the last 30 years. So I think that, no, we don't sit down with them. No, we go in August 28th and we continue on with pressing the way we've been going, and we run this thing. And like Commissioner Rydell said, we're leading the charge. It's not the county. We're suing them. It only benefits them to settle. Right now, they've given us nothing. It's all been lies and hearsay and shuffling 4 years, 6 years. There's a time limit. No, this is time for us to stand up and say, okay, enough of the BS. We're in a lot of litigation. Let's litigate this thing, and let's show the county that Coconut Creek's not going to be pushed over on this again for 30 years. It's ridiculous. So I know I'm going against what everybody else is thinking, but I'm going to sit here and say I'm tired of having them shove it in our face. And we have to sit here and look at it. We have to sit here and smell it. I don't think it's right. These guys go back down 40 miles away from us. They're not smelling this thing. So I'm sorry. No, I don't think we should be sitting down with them. We have a date. They need to stick to the date.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go to Vice Mayor Wasserman, and then we'll go to Commissioner Rydell.
I see the commissioner's perspective, but City Attorney, would this conversation, and it's very important, right? Is this conversation that we would have, right? It's not binding us to anything. It's just maybe hearing things a little early, and it's giving, we're not going to get fooled or tricked, right? We're not in the business of doing that, right?
Right. So again, I would insist that legal representation be present, so that would be me as well as our outside counsel, and have Deerfield have their attorney present as well, to the extent that that's possible. I know that their in-house attorney has a conflict. But that said, they are just wanting to meet and talk with us. It would not be binding. We would hear them out if we proceed and bring back any options to you all for final decision making.
It's just coffee talk. It's just,
right.
Okay.
If they offer nothing,
how the level of it.
If they offer nothing, then there will be nothing to bring back to you, but we would report back to you either way.
Thank you, City Attorney.
Commissioner Rydell?
Just like to provide another history lesson and maybe some education, and
Please
maybe some
turn your mic
education in the law.
Please turn your mic on.
It's on, Mayor. It's on. Can you hear me? I'm going to put it closer to my mouth.
Okay,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
please.
Okay. I want to provide some history lessons in education in the law. When Waste Management dismantled this county's alternate source through the Sun Bergeron litigation, all of you spend some time reading the Florida Bulldog on the history of what Ron Bergeron went through in a 6-year lawsuit that totaled in Bergeron losing and Bergeron Enterprises paying over $10 million in attorney's fees. So, Commissioner Brody, while I respect your opinion, this could go on for 5 years and cost our taxpayers $10 million. Okay. So the city entered into agreement that benefited our residents. Not sitting down at a table for a potential beneficial agreement in some capacity is not laying down. It's not conspiring with Waste Management. It's what parties that are adverse to each other do. So there's been history. Now, we're prepared on this commission. We've all voted for it. We gave the city attorney approval to spend $3 million in attorney's fees to do this, which I voted for. $2 million. I apologize. With one, it was one, and then $2 million in attorney's fees to litigate this. To not try to come to a beneficial, creative solution, which candidly could exist, I don't know what that looks like, is foolish to take such a hard position to not be open-minded for conversations. Conversations are what solve problems. And historically speaking, the people that have entered into these fights, and I'm not saying you're going to win or we're going to lose or any of it right now, and the only thing that's going to happen at that August 28th meeting, and this is education, and Terrell, if I'm wrong, correct me legally, that is a box that needs to be checked for pre-litigation. Absolutely nothing will happen at that meeting at all except a box being checked of 10 different boxes that need to be checked before a lawyer files a complaint. So the meeting means nothing. Nothing gets solved there except the county commission, us sitting in a room, checking the box, and nothing getting settled. That's the truth. And Terrell, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but That's what it is. So I'm not suggesting settling. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm suggesting that this city and its leadership a decade ago kind of won a pretty big fight, because at that time, only one other municipality in the country had brought waste management to a settlement agreement. In the country. We led the charge in the country. So I voiced my opinion. Obviously, we're all here, and I obviously oppose any expansion at all, but that's my opinion. Thank you, Mayor.
So to piggyback that, we've already seen that the SWA had no impact. They're not listening to anybody. Why? I don't know why we'd go to a table they're not even listening. So my feeling is the only way they're going to listen is if we take a harder stance. And I think we keep wasting our time having meetings, we're not going to get anywhere unless it's in a public setting where they're pushed to the wall of having to make a decision. I think that we're just wasting time. We're wasting legal fees, which is exactly what they're trying to do, since they know there's a cap. That's all that's transparency. They know there's a cap on our legal fees. They're wasting our legal fees going to meetings that we don't need to attend, that they're not going to approve anything.
Okay, thank you. Opinions duly noted. I do want to say I feel that we have to show that we're willing to at least have conversation. So with that said, I would like to ask Josh if we get a consensus from the commission to move forward with this meeting. Josh, if you would represent us, since you are knee-deep in the SWA and you've been involved in this situation.
If that's the will of the commission, of course I would, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone else that has anything else to say on this subject? So let's go down the line then on if we should have this meeting, if we can direct our city attorney and our city manager to set up this meeting. Commissioner Rydell. Yes. Commissioner Welsh.
Yes, I do want to make a note again that Deerfield be in lockstep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Commissioner Brody.
No.
Okay.
Yes, with Commissioner Rydell as our representative.
Thank you. And I vote yes as well. Thank you.
And can I just clarify that that would also, the meeting would include the city manager, myself, or outside counsel, and obviously.
Yes. And could I?
We'll
well?
invite Deerfield.
No, just Josh. Just one representative. No problem.
Otherwise, we have a
Okay.
sunshine issue.
Oh, right. Okay.
Thank you.
You're right. No worries. Thank you. So that's settled. Anything else, Mrs. City Manager?
Nothing else, thank you.
Thank you. City Attorney?
I just wanted to let you all know that we will be filing the amended petition regarding the comprehensive plan challenge under Chapter 120 with DOA tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Rydell?
I'll be brief tonight. Panthers game's on. We already passed the puck drop. Did it drop, Scott? All right, so we're still safe.
Sorry, I meant to say happy birthday to Commissioner Rydell.
Oh, and happy birthday to
Thank you.
Commissioner
I appreciate
Rydell.
that. And it's your birthday. Yeah, well, my birthday wish is, a Florida Panthers win.
That's right. Okay.
So, very briefly this evening, we had a good evaluation. I just want to, Terrell, I had one thing I want to talk about. I talked to the owner of 7-Eleven. He owns our 7-Eleven up north. He owns the 7-Eleven down south and a couple others. I just want to bring this to discussion, really, and see what the will of the commission is. We are a city that prevents liquor sales, not liquor sales, but beer and wine sales at like gas stations and convenience stores and things like that. Terrell, just give a rundown on. I just want her to do it on our current ordinance structure and what I was asked by some of our business owners about. Madam City Attorney, if you may.
Sure. So you had approached our office with a question about essentially off-premise consumption sales of alcohol. We allow for on-premise consumption for those businesses to stay open to 2 a.m., but for off-premise consumption, meaning your package stores and your 7-Elevens and those kinds of businesses, have to stop selling alcohol at 12 a.m. So it was my understanding that a question arose from a resident specifically in the context of a 7-Eleven, but obviously it would impact any businesses that sell for off-premise consumption to extend the hours of sale from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. The other cities around us, we kind of did a quick survey, not really in depth, but we're happy to do that further if you'd like, kind of run the gambit between also closing at midnight or closing at 2 a.m., consistent with their on-premise consumption. So it really is up to you all whether or not you would like for us to amend the code to extend the hours for the off-premise consumption.
So essentially, I'll give you the reason he had said is because you can go to Deerfield Beach and buy a beer at 7-Eleven at 1. You can't buy a beer at 7-Eleven 1 here. You can, go to Pompano and buy a beer at 1 at 7-Eleven. He can't. Listen, my wife's here tonight. She was like, it doesn't matter to me. She was really against it. I think Jamie was anti. You were anti the extension. It's okay. I'm throwing you under the bus. I was for it. And then it's the marital. It's what you do. You talk, you debate. So I bring it to the commission to see if we want to allow these package stores to sell alcohol until 2. I just want to have a debate about a discussion about it to see if we direct staff to just change our ordinance about it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, go ahead, Commissioner Brody, did you want to say something? Because I did.
Maybe our police officers might want to have some input on that, what they think selling alcohol after 12 a.m. would do to our roads and other things. Do you guys have an opinion on that?
I was just going to say, I wouldn't want an influx of
drunk drivers
of non-residents coming into our city to purchase.
It would be the opposite. It's the people leaving, drinking, and coming back to Coconut Creek. Freddie, you want to come chime in on this? I'm not taking any position on this. I'm just bringing it up during my comments as a discussion item. That's it.
Okay.
I do have a position on it, but let's.
Plenty. So to confirm, the question is, can you say it one more time?
Sure. What they want to do is change the ordinance of selling alcohol from 12 to 2 a.m. so that there's a 2 extra hours of selling alcohol beyond the ordinance of what it says now.
And again, this would be at the stores because, as you know, the bars already close at 2 a.m.
So it would be limited because only certain businesses are open at that hour. But what would be the benefit to the city for that, other than problems?
I mean, listen, the reason it was brought up to me, I have no problem, and again, not putting my thumb on a scale, is just saying a local business owner goes, hey, I'm losing out on revenue for 2 hours because people are going somewhere else to,
That would be the
buy
only
their Mike's Hard Lemonade or their Zima.
So my perspective, that would be the only benefit.
I don't know.
I mean, my opinion is we're just opening ourselves up to 2 more hours of drunk driving going to liquor stores. I mean, I don't know how that benefits. How much alcohol are they going to have between 12 and 2?
Exactly.
Plan.
I don't leave my house
to
to
drink
go
really well like I
purchase
do.
it
Plan ahead.
at 1 in the morning. Nothing good comes from that.
If can I, Mayor?
Go ahead. Yes, Vice Mayor.
Is there if this is something that really gets moving along in a conversation, is there data that we can see from the police that shows DUIs after 12 a.m., for example, between 12 and 1 and 2, to maybe make it more conservative? Because there is a pro to business, right? We want to support businesses. I get that, right? We also have public safety. That's our #1 priority up here. So I would like to have at least a little of information that could help, because there's also Uber Eats and there's also DoorDash, where people I'm at home, I can have DoorDash pick up liquor or beer from someplace, and if I want them to do that at 1:30, why should me in Coconut Creek be penalized from doing that when the neighboring city can do that? So there's an argument, but I just want to know the data for the DUIs.
So to answer your question, yes, and we can get that for you.
Thank you so much.
Again, I bring it up only because I want to be clear with this. So the owner of 7-Eleven, I just want to say this so you all know, during hurricanes, we actually use one of his tanks for city reserves. Great corporate resident. I'm not trying to say good, bad, or indifferent, but he's been a great corporate resident us for in emergency situations. We use his tanks. Great guy, love the Slurpee. Just for discussion.
Well, Commissioner Rydell, can we circle back on the next meeting?
Absolutely.
And talk
I
about
brought it up
just
just
more data. I think it's something definitely we need to discuss.
But if this is a palate item where all of you are like, keep it as is, then there's no reason to waste staff time. That's all.
I think intellectually we need to know the data first. And then I'm open
May I,
to
for
what
the
events-
record, may I just say that whether we use this tank or not is irrelevant.
Agreed. I'm just.
Thank you.
Fair, fair. And we can all still have Slurpees. I have no further comment this evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Welch.
I didn't think we were going to get
Staff will
past that
research and
one.
come back with data.
All right, well, happy birthday, Commissioner Rydell. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. So Juneteenth is Saturday night. Don't forget, be there. Bring your own chairs, I understand. I didn't know that, I thought that typically we have chairs here at these events for those that.
There will be some chairs. Some
Okay.
people prefer their
But
own
not
chairs, and there will be high
a
tops.
noticeable amount. No problem. That's the only thing I noticed. Looking forward to it. If it's like the other events, it's got to be great. One thing I did notice, and you'll appreciate this, Commissioner Rydell, for Mayor Ryan that heads up the chairs the SWA, when he hosted the Northwest Elected Council meeting in Sunrise on Monday, in their palatial city hall on the 4th floor in the conference room, it was full of plastic bottles all around the room. I think I'm the only one that had my refillable cup. So I just want to put that out there. We did have one of our residents that was honored for the Senior Hall of Fame, Sue Gilbert, a long-term resident in South Creek that had volunteered I don't know how many hours at Coral Springs Hospital over the years, many years, and it was really good. She was extremely honored and proud to be there. Moana, great kudos for it being able to be performed on a real stage with real microphones. It really made the professional appearance. The Sustainability Series combined with Sprouts was just the best home run of all, next to the Panthers winning tonight. I did have a chance to meet, Bellaroma evidently has new owners, Edgar and Agnesa, and they're planning some really good changes there for the menu and for the place itself. And I didn't go back and talk to him, but I'm hoping that the Creek cuisine or things that you're doing, I would like to toss their name in the hat. I know they're planning some changes over time, but Bellaroma.
They've been contacted to participate in Creek Cuisine.
Awesome. I love that.
Oscarman is spearheading the outreach efforts for Creek Cuisine.
I love it. Thank you very much. They're so excited. They can't wait to introduce more. Creek Hikes was also a very good success, and today's big announcement at MPO was that Greg Stewart put in his 2-year timeline for retiring. Him and 5 other of the 44 people that are there, senior management leaders, and because it became a topic of discussion for the $500,000 that White House group was being offered to consult for reorganization and succession planning for the MPO, so that brought up a healthy conversation, but I think at the end they finally agreed that they were qualified and that they were going to be doing a good job of it. So that's that. Thank you very much.
Brody.
Well, I only got one thing, and I'll make it quick. I had the honor of being nominated as an honorary member of the Women's Club, which I'm in great company because Commissioner Rydell was the only other man to ever have that honor. So I think it's kind of, yeah, they announced it. You got a hat to prove it. But I think it's kind of cool. We do a lot of outreach for the women's program here, and I think it's pretty awesome that they did something special for me. I was completely caught off guard. I walk into a room filled with women, and after my wife lied to me to tell me there was going to be husbands there, so talk about an awkward moment. But I was honored. It was very nice of them. I didn't know what to do. I was a little embarrassed. I'm usually the guy giving stuff, not usually the guy getting stuff. So it was very nice, and thank you, Women's Club, for doing that. And that's all I have for tonight.
You just go.
Vice Mayor Wasserman.
That might actually, Josh brings up a thing, that might be like the biggest mystery in Coconut Creek history. Like, is there a hat, Josh?
Jeff, I'm telling you as I said, and
That may not be the only guy.
You would be, I think you're the first.
Which one do you want to be?
I think John's the first, based upon this story.
If I may just inquire on that, Commissioner Welsh, you've been part of Women's Club for how long?
Since 1997.
Do you have a recollection of me being an honorary member? I'm trying to remember.
I only remember you being there one night. If you were, I must have missed it. And I'm usually pretty awake during those times.
Special shout out to Tamarind Village. The community cookout was so nice, and to the police and the fire department. What a special little neighborhood. It really is wholesome. It's so well kept, and I have such respect for that board and those residents in Tamarind. Really awesome. And I'm glad Commissioner Welch brought up Creek Cuisine, because we won't be meeting till, I think we're not meeting for another month. We'll be meeting the second week of July, and then we'll be rolling Creek Cuisine in August. We're very excited. I said Queek, but then it's Creek, you know? But no, we're super excited. A lot of our local restaurants are participating in this, offering great deals to our residents here in Coconut Creek for the month of August. It's going to be really special. Our city manager and her team are working really hard on it, providing even a passport, a map for our residents to follow and get stamped at the different locations. If you get a certain amount, you'll be able to come here and get a cool gift. We're really excited about it. Highlight our businesses. It costs nothing to them. Costs nothing to our residents, our restaurants, to participate in them. We're just super excited, and hopefully it's a big boom, and we can build on it and grow. And Sheila, that's really one of the things that you've really taken, and I really appreciate it. So I'll finish that, and I'll see you. Have a great 4th of July, because we'll see you after that.
That's a scary thought. Thank you. I'd like to say happy birthday to Commissioner Rydell again. Thank you. I'd also like to say congratulations to all our graduates. It was a great time going to all the awards and to all the graduations, and just a great group of kids. Congratulations, and for your future endeavors. I also want to give a shout out to our first responders for Tamarind Village Cookout. It was great. You guys did a great job. I mean, you serve us every day, every minute in normal life, and then you had to go out there and cook in the heat and serve us food. Thank you so much. It was great. And the residents loved it, and they truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, I want to say the Solid Waste Authority Master Plan was out. We attended with Commissioner Rydell and Commissioner Welsh and our city attorney, Terrell. And I got to say, it's a... Oh, and Mike Heimbeck, thank you. Yes, actually, he made it bearable for me. We sat next to each other. Thank you, Mike, because it's a newfound respect for all of you, and I had said that at the meeting, that had anything to do with this master plan. But some good comments, some not so good comments, but it was very interesting, but it's out there. The draft is out there. So I also want to say that Winmore Community Council has also joined in our lawsuit to support the opposition of the landfill. So that was exciting. The Turnpike, sorry. Turnpike, I get confused between the two, but we are willing to fight both, of course, by your side. Moana, the kids were great. That's not an easy musical to put on, but it was great. Thank you so much. League of Cities last weekend was also a good time. Thank you. And I do have to say that I was approached about a mural in the city. by the foundation. I believe it's Community Foundation, not sure. I'll double check on who actually approached me. But looking for an area in the city to place a mural.
Oh, we have many options.
So, great. So I'll get
Oh,
that
yes.
information to you, and maybe we could set something up. That would
Please.
be great. That's all I've got. Happy Father's Day on Sunday to all of you gentlemen. I'm sure every one of you have touched another person, so you do deserve a happy Father's Day. So thank you for your support. Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn?
Meeting adjourned. Go Panthers. Go.